Hey Brian.
What?
Ever since I failed the Tide Pod Challenge, I've been known as somewhat of a myth buster.
All right.
Right? The stakes are higher now even.
Really?
Tonewoods.
Tonewood.
This is the highest stake, really hot topic in all of guitar.
Yeah, so, well, let's talk about these Tonewoods.
Tone don't matter. We're putting it to the test. This is definitive. We're ending this debate today one way or another.
Can you hear
End it.
tone?
Yeah, I've never played these guitars before in my life. They're all Breedloves, the exact same guitar, same strings.
Same top.
Yep, same top, different back and sides. Because, you know, some people say specs, it's like, oh, this is like, you know, petrified forest back with Jurassic era sides.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? It's sick as spruce style. Cool, so sick as spruce.
It's wood, right?
It's wood. What sounds like wood, right? But some guitars just sound like strings, as we've heard before.
That's my, yeah,
right?
that's what I say. Sounds like strings.
So, Breedlove has set this up. We've got all amazing guitars, same guitar, same size, everything. Only the back and sides are different. And we're gonna do it here.
Yeah.
So we've got a man from behind the camera shouting out the specs on these. What am I holding?
That is a concert body shape
Concert body shape.
made out of myrtle wood.
Myrtle wood. All right, so all myrtle wood back and sides. Okay, and what's the top on all these? Sitka spruce top on all?
Sitka, a bear claw Sitka spruce.
Bear
top.
claw Sitka spruce. Nice. All right, so what, E major?
Yeah.
Myrtle wood, what do you have?
This is, so it's same top, right? Sitka
Yep.
spruce, right? And this is Cocobola?
You got it. Cocobolo.
Cocobolo.
Yes.
I've heard that's one of the densest woods known to man.
It's very dense. It
Very-
sinks in water.
Sinks in water.
Right? So if you're Leo on that ship, you're looking for a different palette,
Too soon.
right? Too soon. Coca-Cola. All right, let's hear Coca-Cola.
Here's what I'm hearing.
All right, go ahead.
So there's more of a mid-range, low mid-range
Yes.
in that.
Okay.
This, I think, is a little more even from top to bottom. In a recording, like if I was sitting this in a big pop arrangement, I would love this. If I was just playing singer-songwriter,
Yep. Need the low end.
you get that extra, like if you're not playing with bass,
Right. Fill it out.
fill it out.
So you think that's gonna sit better in a mix then?
I think, yeah, I mean, if I was sitting this in a big mix, this
Okay.
would be the back and side
Coca-Cola would
that
be
I
it.
would choose. If I was just doing something kind of like a sparser arrangement, I
Okay.
think I would.
I love the mid range of this.
Yeah.
Right. Sounds great. Myrtle wood.
Myrtle.
Is myrtle wood a tree? I feel like this is something that I didn't hear about growing up. They didn't teach us about myrtle wood in school.
It only grows on a very small portion of the Oregon coast.
Really? Well, there we go.
Wow.
Is it like the myrtle area?
There's big myrtle groves, but it grows like
The
from
myrtle
half
groves.
the state down to about Northern California, right on the border of Northern California.
Stops. It doesn't want to pay its income tax, so it just stops right there.
It's-
Smart. Myrtle's smart. Got it. So there's a tonal difference, clearly.
100%.
All right.
Yeah.
So that myth has been busted. Tonewood's better. What's next? What do we got next?
Okay.
What should we try?
Let's change it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to enter the screen here. All right.
You want to introduce yourself to the good people?
I do. My name is R.A. Beatty, and I am the marketing and artist relations guy at Breedlove.
There we go. Love it.
This is going to be very similar. This is Indian Rosewood,
Okay.
so it's going to be
Similar to the Cocobolo?
similar to the cocoa in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Let's hand
Indian Rosewood sounds expensive.
It is this is walnut,
Okay. All right.
so these are going to be very different than what you just played.
Okay. So that's Indian Rosewood. A little bit out of tune, but this is boomier, right? I would say. Again with the low end.
Right. Yeah, it's like what. It's interesting because it's like every different back and side. It's like imagine you have like kind of like an EQ curve, right? And there's kind of a bump. And you're sort of moving that around, right? Like the frequency
Sure, yeah.
bump, right? And so this one kind of has like, there's a bit of sort of like an upper mid kind of poke that kind of comes through there.
Sweeter, maybe, is kind of how I would
Yeah,
describe
it's kind of,
it
there's
in layman's terms.
You know, the last guitar, let's say that was kind of, you know, how you had something like 120 to 200. This is kind of moving a little higher in the spectrum, so there's a little more like a honk that kind of like.
Okay.
A little, yeah. It's there's like a peak that moved.
Yeah.
A little more.
All right, and then now play yours.
Still think this is a flatter.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, it's similar to the Coco Bolo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's getting it's more.
To
like
me,
kind
that
of
sounds
like
more balanced than the Coco Bolo, even.
You think so?
But balance is also kind of relative to what you think balanced is. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, because the thing is whenever you're, you know, it's all context based, right?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the key you're playing in. It depends on the arrangement that you're creating with other instruments. Sometimes the idea is that you want something that's got an EQ, sort of natural EQ or pokiness in where, relative to the other instruments, relative to the key that you're performing in, right? And so it's like something, you know, you could play something and go, okay, that sounds good, and then you could sit it with other instruments and go, oh, that's perfect, because it just kind of fits like a little puzzle piece in the mix. I mean, it would be like the coolest thing, I think, from a recording standpoint would be like have all these, and then, you know, you're just gonna shoot out each one, check them, you know, kind of check them in your mix. Just do, you know, do 16 bars with each one, right, and just do a take through, and then you could just kind of run through.
Basically, we're angling for you guys to go as each one. If you guys haven't figured that out.
We can ship 5 to you. That's okay.
Just all.
Yeah. On weekdays, I feel like my voice pairs with a walnut a little better. Weekends, I cut loose. So I need that Indian rosewood. All right. So yeah, to me, I really like that myrtlewood too. I think the walnut, I feel, has a sweeter mid-range. From my memory, and that's the thing too. Like how you talk about like our ears have a pretty short memory.
Oh, definitely.
That's why I like going back and forth.
And that's like one of those things. Like if it was a recording situation, and you know, I would record a take with all of them, and then just just blind, not even try to create a situation where you're like, well, I really, in my heart, I prefer and you can just kind of pick through the playlist and figure out what's working.
Okay.
But
these are gorgeous woods, by the way. I don't know if that is coming up on camera. It's hard to see kind of like wood stuff on camera all the time, like wood grain, but
very different wood grain too, right?
Right. This is very uniform, symmetrical. That's kind of got some dirt on it, some grit. That's how I would describe it. Some grit, some dirt, some dirt, some grit. The Indian rosewood dirt. See, balance. That sounds great. I love it. All right, what do we got next?
Well, we have one more left, so
Yeah.
this isn't gonna work. You guys might want to pass it back and forth.
Okay.
This one is made out of koa.
Koa. All right.
Hawaii.
Koa. I love it.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
All right. So. Last one for sure. How would you unite with that C major 7 chord? Come on. E, F sharp. Oh. See, now I'm poisoning my own thoughts with my beautiful playing. Right? I'm like, oh, it's the koa all the way. It's the koa. It's the koa for me. It's for sure. Alright, so what do you think about what do you hear here? I feel like it has a tight brightness, but still like a low mid-range boost.
Yeah. It's a smiley. It's a bit of a smiley face.
Okay.
Yeah. What I would say. Yeah. It's a smile curve.
All right. I kind of like it for fingerstyle because you still get like
some of the punch.
Yeah. It's not
you want
thin.
some of that punch.
Like I have the high end, but it's not thin on top.
Yeah, because if you're doing a lot of movement, you don't want a lot of
Yeah.
muddiness, but you still want that punch. You want it to cut through.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
I love it, man. Let's put a smile on my face. You want to try? You want to check this out?
Yeah.
Here we go. Rosewood for
I love
Koa.
these inlays. This design. What are the inlay? That's a different.
So the cool thing about these guitars as well, there's some really nice little appointments, and so this Koa is also represented here around the rosette, and then there's little bits of Koa on the inlay.
That's
so,
awesome.
And there's actually, the same Tonewood is actually used on the overlay and the headstock as well, so cool little details.
Another thing I really like about the Breedlove stuff is the bridge. The bridge is like clean looking. I feel like that's kind of like a signature of yours. Bridge headstock and stuff, you know.
Pin and
sure.
stretch, super easy for string changes.
Yeah, there you go.
Super nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I can feel that punch.
You can feel it in your body, I think. when you
Yeah,
hit it, right?
It's definitely like getting that.
I do honestly, you guys did a really good job setting this up because this is the perfect body of a guitar, I think, to do something like this. Because like dreadnoughts always kind of just are gonna boom no matter what.
For sure.
So I feel like this has always been my preferred size when like gigging and performing because it's light, it just feels right.
Called a concert.
The concert body.
Concert body.
Yep, the most versatile.
The most versatile one around. All right, cool. So this is still the Indian Rosewood, right? This is the first one. Is that right?
That's easy.
Yeah, I feel like this is super balanced.
Yeah.
Nice. So what have you learned here today?
Man, I mean, that Tonewoods make a huge difference.
Yeah,
Right? Especially when you experience and you sit with them, and you can feel them, you can hear them, and you can feel them
Right.
too. I mean, because how often do you get like to play a bunch of different
Never.
Tonewoods? Because it's always
Never.
going to be like, oh, that guitar is a different brand of guitar. This is like that's a dreadnought versus
Right.
this is a
These are strings from 1980.
Exactly.
Like, cool, whatever.
Yeah, and you're not sort of playing the same exact. I've never sat and played 5 guitars with
No.
the same exact.
Yeah, this has actually been cool.
Because you just don't. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know how big of a difference that makes.
I do feel like my ears have not totally come back yet from the Tide Pod Challenge. I'm still suffering some
So a little
minor
tinnitus
side, a little,
from the,
just I don't know if we can label the side effects that I've gotten from that. But just listen, in the spirit of busting myths, I'm out here doing it. Other YouTubers say they're gonna do stuff. I'm on the streets, and you're there to pick me up every
Streets of
time.
Indiana.
Every time. The streets of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Gearfest. Well, thank you, Breedlove, for giving us this opportunity. Love you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comments. I will link all these guitars in the description. And yeah, let us know what you think and what your favorite one was.